So Ty, you've been in this business a long time. You've been driving race cars for a long, long time. What first captured your interest with racing?
I think the purest thing, like I played other sports as a kid, even though I grew up around it, my family was around it. I played other sports, thought I was gonna be a football player. Everybody outgrew me, I wasn't as tall as you. I was at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Cup race weekend. Saw a bunch of kids, I was 13 years old, they were my age, having a blast at the racetrack with the Bandoleros and legend cars, and it looked like so much fun. And luckily I'd been around racing my whole life. I was able to talk to my grandfather and say, hey, I'd like to try it out. And from that day, I think we did our first test, which is the funny thing about that. My grandfather and I were doing an appearance the other day, and he's like, after their first test, I thought, oh boy, this isn't gonna last long, they're terrible. And we went back for a second one, and he was surprised at how quick we learned and got better, but just fell in love with it, and never really been a big believer of something's in your blood, but really, I fell in love with just the true essence of racing cars and the competitiveness and passing people. And I think to this day, that's still why I keep going, is I love getting out there and driving a fast car and passing people. It's just the purest fun that you can have.
I can only imagine. I get a thrill going, 75 and a 65 down the freeway passing somebody. So what is your favorite track? If you had to pick one, either to go to, maybe did you have a favorite as a kid that you were like super excited to finally race at once you got to big leagues?
For sure Bristol. Like going to Bristol as a kid and sitting there, just the huge Coliseum, and it's happening right there below you or in front of you, was one that I always wanted to check off the list. As a driver, it's still one of my favorite. But probably my most favorite is Darlington. I just love racing against the racetrack there, the Lady in Black. It's so tough, it's such a challenge, and you always feel like as a driver, you can make an extra difference at that racetrack, and it's been one of the tracks I've had some good results at too.
Yeah, top 10 there a few weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna dive into some of this salsa here. This is the medium. See, medium can be really vague. I've had medium, I have a weak tongue. I've had medium that's very spicy, but.
You never know, medium's a dangerous game.
Ooh, that's got good flavor though. See, I've had really mild flavor medium things. Just feels like water. That's good.
Let's try this. It's got a good amount of spice to it for medium. I like that.
See, I'm from Texas, so like Tex-Mex, everywhere you go, they're handing you chips and salsa. They're basically throwing it at you. I can appreciate a good salsa when I have
That's really good.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
We're recording this in between Nashville and Chicago. Truck Series, you guys have had like a month off, but not you. You've been racing Cup cars. You're top 20 last weekend at New Hampshire. What's been the biggest challenge the past few years of your career, bouncing between Truck, Xfinity, Cup? You've gotten a chance to drive just about everything that goes in circles these days.
I think just building relationships, like when you're bouncing from team to team, series to series, and you don't have more than a year with anybody, and sometimes not more than a couple months with any people you're working with, that's the hardest part for me. But it's also in turn been good for me to learn and adapt and to not hold things so tightly for every performance, because you never really know. Like, I think this year I've ran 3 Cup races or 4 Cup races, but 3 with colleague racing, and our results have been pretty good. Like we've outperformed what the car's been doing every time I've been in the car, and I've really enjoyed it. And it's funny how things work out sometimes. Sometimes when you're just kind of popping in and your mindset's a little bit different, you're a little bit freer, and the results come to you a little bit easier. So I still feel like inside I'm a Cup driver. I can race at the Cup level and compete and win races there given the right opportunity. But I'm enjoying my career. I have 3 kids now, and truck racing's been a lot of fun. Having a couple weekends off has been nice. But I still feel like I'm one of the best 40 drivers out here in amongst all 3 series.
Absolutely. Well, that was one of the best, easily one of the best 40 salsas I've ever had. That's a top 5 right there. That's a top 5 finish. Where should we go next?
I'm a beef jerky fan.
Let's do it. We got 2 flavors, original, sweet, and hot.
All right, so you grab one of those. I'm going to grab one of the sticks.
Sweet and hot, is that even legal? Is that even possible?
I don't know how that's possible. I'm sure it's good.
All right, let's try this out.
I got original here.
Okay.
I see dessert here.
No, we'll get there. We'll get there. You think like me. We're very much alike.
Thinking
Let's
ahead.
get right to dessert.
Yep. No, that works.
This just tastes like summer. This is good.
This is a good racetrack snack. Rain delay.
Oh yeah.
You don't want to sugar up too much for rain delays. I did that in New Hampshire. Ate a bunch of gummy bears, and that didn't settle too well for the last few laps in the rain we had there.
How does a driver prepare for a race, especially in the hot summer months like this? Like Nashville this weekend is gonna be close to 100 degrees on Friday, Saturday. Like how do you prepare for something like that?
I think you got to make sure your interior of your race car is protecting you as much as you can. There's some things that the teams can do to maximize the cooling inside the car for you. it's always better to not try to be tougher than everybody else and just use the max cooling for a day like this, because if you get too hot on this race weekend, yeah, you might finish the race and still be able to perform well, but when you got to buckle up and do it again the next weekend, your body does not recover from heat very well. So I think especially on the Cup side, these are the times where guys mentally start falling apart, because the heat wears on you week after week after week, and you don't want to get up on Monday, you don't want to work out, you don't want to go to your meetings, you don't want to go to the sim, and you start making excuses. And these are the summer months where strong teams that are going to perform at the end of the year, who have taken care of themselves, do all the right things right, they start rising to the top, because it is a grueling long schedule, especially when you get in these hot days.
Speaking of hot, my gosh, the sweet was at first. Now
Yeah?
it's starting to get
Getting
spicy.
spicy?
It is, yeah. Like they somehow pulled off the impossible. That's incredible. We're going to Chicago next week. Chicago's well known for its food. What's the best food city in NASCAR that NASCAR goes to?
That's a good question. Obviously, Vegas has a lot of different options for food.
So my man's stealing your napkin over here.
Yeah,
while you're
Chicago
talking.
last year, I went to a couple dinners that were really delicious. Also Texas. Texas is one
That's my man right there.
Dallas. I love going to Austin. I'm a Longhorns fan, so
Oh, really?
I love being in the city of Austin. Yep.
You're an actual I went to UT. I didn't know.
Oh,
that.
really?
Yeah. What are
No
the odds?
way. I knew we connected on some
There we
level.
go. How about that?
I've just been a fan. Long story. I met Earl Campbell when I was a young kid.
Nice.
He asked
Houston
me
Oiler. There we go.
Yep. He asked me, who's your favorite college team? And I told him Wake Forest, because that's where I grew up in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. We went to all those games. He's like, you need a real team. Follow the Longhorns. I was like probably 12 years old or so.
Wow.
And that was the year that they went to the national championship with Vince Young.
Oh, there you
and I
go.
watched that game. So then I've been a fan through all the other years that we've gone through. And then the last 2
year was
years
good.
is
Last
like,
year was
let's
fun.
go,
That
let's
was a
go.
good
Yeah,
time.
so it's been awesome.
See, my problem is I'm engaged to an Oklahoma Sooner.
Oh, that's trouble. The Red River
Red River Rivalry.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know who won last year. OU won last year.
Yes.
So we got to get them back.
Yeah, it doesn't matter where either team's ranked for that game. It's going to be a close game. It's going to be like a devastating finish for one of the sides, it seems like every year.
Every year it's heartbreaking. Yeah. Her favorite driver is Christopher Bell, because he's from Norman.
Yep. That's trouble.
It's tough. It's awkward. It's always an awkward Saturday conversation. But yeah, best food city. I'm partial to Texas from there. They got good barbecue, good Tex-Mex. Can't go wrong with that. But I am excited about Chicago. Maybe it's like super touristy. I love me a good deep dish pizza.
Yep.
Do actual Chicagoans eat that? I don't know. I do. It's delicious.
I like it. It's good. But, for us, we spend so much time at the track. It's hard to get out all the time, and having Crav'n Flavor type snacks, especially in the hauler, the guys, we spend so much time. This is our food, and these are awesome.
We're gonna be stuffing that Rackley hauler with Crav'n flavored foods for the rest of this season. Where should we go next? I think we need at least one more thing before we get into the dessert, because those sandwich cookies are I'm eyeing those. Pita chips. Hold on, I do have to try one of these. I like me some garlic and Parmesan. That's like my not guilty pleasure. That's my vice. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for anything garlic Parmesan flavored.
So if you go to my grandfather's winery, he has an option with pork rinds, an appetizer with an option with pork rinds. That's one of his favorite snacks. He's super old school. He might travel in a jet to the racetrack, but he's on his jet. He's got pork rinds. He's got sardines. And,
I like it.
And
my man.
yeah, beanie weenies pretty much is what he lives off of.
These are good. Is the mic picking up this crunch?
Those are good pork rinds.
Very good. Can I try one of those?
Yep, let's trade. I'm definitely gonna be full enough for start of practice for sure.
Yeah, that's. I'm hoping that doesn't weigh down the car.
It's left side weight. We like that.
There you go. Ooh, that is good.
I'm
Barbecue
gonna take
flavor?
this and dip it in the salsa.
Oh, now that's bold. Is that even allowed?
Well, sometimes you gotta play in the gray area in NASCAR.
Well said. Well said.
Oh, that's good.
What's the best, or maybe the coolest looking trophy in NASCAR? And you can't give me an answer like, oh, they're all great. Every trophy is beautiful. That's just cop out. I hate when drivers do that. I get it, but I hate it.
Coolest looking trophy. I mean, I'm a big fan of the championship trophy. That thing's huge.
It is cool. It's an actual cup. They finally turned. It's been a while, but the Cup Series is a cup.
And they've stuck with it long enough to where it's starting to get some lure. Like we have to stick with one, like the Stanley Cup or something like that. So that one's probably the one. But you obviously come to Nashville. I've always wanted to get a trophy. You want to go to Martinsville. You want to get the clock.
The guitar that they have in the infield here, that'd be pretty neat to get one.
It's awesome. So, getting those kind of cool, authentic, different style trophies are way cooler than just the pieces of metal.
Yeah, I do love when the trophy really ties into the region. Like Auto Club used to always do the surfboard kind of deal. Texas used to have like cowboy boots. Now I think it's like a hat.
Yep.
What was at Texas this year? The Xfinity race. It was the ice cream cone.
Yep,
that was
Andy's a frozen cone. Yeah.
I love that. I think we should dive into some of these sandwich cookies. I'm ready for dessert.
All right. Yeah.
I'm gonna try. Let's open these up, I guess.
Almost need some milk to dunk them in.
Yeah. Did you try dipping these in the salsa?
I'll skip the salsa.
It might work. Everything else has worked.
Yeah. All right, I'm trying it. Here we go. Sandwich cookies, kind of like an ice cream cookie.
They don't skip you on the stuffing on these.
No, not at all. This is a good amount of stuffing, which we can all appreciate.
How is it? Ready to run 300 miles?
Yeah, I'm ready.
This is what I always did as a kid. Anytime I've had sandwich cookies, you got to go with the quadruple
double
stout.
stack. There you go.
Absolutely massive.
That's a veteran move.
Can you tell I'm skilled in snack food?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah. Yep, that's elite. So after trying all these out,
Yep.
Ty, do you have a new race day like go-to pre-race snack?
Oh man, I really like the beef stick. I try to keep it pretty simple, a little protein, but sometimes your interest gets the best of you, and you have to have the cookie sandwich. So having these on the trailer,
Sugar rush is okay, just a little, in moderation.
Totally, and a mix of all this on the trailer would be great because you just like to go and grab, snack a couple things and make a little plate. And if you got a little extra time, warm up some mozzarella sticks because those things were awesome as well. So
Absolutely.
Crav'n Flavor, it's awesome. It's great stuff.
Where's Clint Boyer when you need him? Because I think we have the ultimate campsite this weekend.
I
here.
think so
This
too.
is the setup.
Yeah, you come by this, you're gonna be pretty happy.
Awesome. Well, Ty,
Yep.
best of luck this weekend, rest of this season. Awesome to have you stop by here and eat a little Crav'n flavored foods here, snack up, protein pack in time for some racing this weekend.
That's right, man. I appreciate you having me.
Good to see you.
Yep.